The brain and spinal cord make up the central nervous system. The spinal cord is a cable-like structure of neuron fibers. Some of its nerve pathways carry information from our senses to the brain, while others carry commands from the brain to the body. The main divisions of the brain are the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brainstem. The cerebral cortex is a thin layer of cells which forms the outer part of the cerebrum. The cerebrum itself is divided into right and left hemispheres and 4 lobes: the frontal, temporal, parietal, and occipital lobes. In cross-section, we see the 2 hemispheres of the cerebrum, covered by the cerebral cortex. Nerve fibers run throughout the white matter. Most of the brain's neurons are grouped close together in the gray matter of the cerebral cortex. Oxygen is the most critical requirement for these cells. Blood vessels carry oxygen to the brain, but there are no blood vessels within the brain itself. Instead, they are here in the pia mater, the innermost of 3 membranes which cover and protect the brain. The closer the cells are to these blood vessels, the better their oxygen supply. That's why so many cells are near the surface.
Tremors are the most obvious symptoms of Parkinson's disease. Holding a glass without spilling or reading the newspaper can be challenging. Muscle stiffness and the inability to move are other symptoms. Richard Seeger was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 1991. He remembers the difficulty he had trying to walk or get out of a chair.
I couldn't get up, basically, from a seat. I had to bounce and bounce and bounce till I turned around and finally got my knees locked.
Seeger is one of 255 patients who were enrolled in a study comparing 2 treatments for Parkinson's. One group was given the standard medication and physical therapy. The second group underwent deep brain stimulation. During the surgery, electrodes are placed in a part of the brain that triggers the overactivity. The electrodes are connected to a pacemaker inserted in the chest. They send out a signal to calm the tremors and muscle stiffness. Seeger says the difference was noticeable right away.
They turned it on, and I'll tell you what, they couldn't hardly believe it. I was walking around, not shaking.
There have been other studies of deep brain stimulation, but Francis Weaver with the Veterans Administration Hospital in Hines, Illinois, explains why this study is different.
What was unique about this study is that we included older people. Parkinson's patients are often older, but older people are often excluded from research studies. 25% of our population in our study were age 70 and older.
The study found that after 6 months, patients who had undergone deep brain stimulation improved their muscle function by an additional 4.5 hours, compared to those who had standard treatment. The researchers did find a higher rate of infection and other complications in those who had the surgery. Francis Weaver says patients should do their research before considering the surgery.
Each patient should weigh the benefits and risks of undergoing deep brain stimulation, but that being older and having Parkinson's does not exclude a person from being appropriate for receiving this treatment.
The American Association of Neurological Surgeons reports that more than 35,000 deep brain stimulation procedures have been performed around the world. The study was published in the Journal of the American Medical Association and was partially funded by Medtronic, the company that makes the stimulation device. Melinda Smith, VOA News.
Your mouth is getting tired.
Meet Terry Sweeney, a professional photographer. She was a firefighter until an injury damaged part of her social brain, the circuitry she uses to recognize faces. The disorder is called prosopagnosia. For example, the person Terry has been photographing here is her mother. Now, because of her injury, Terry can't recognize any face.
Make me smile.
Not even her own mother's.
I'm really grateful you don't drink a lot of coffee.
In this test, Terry takes a Polaroid picture of her mother.
Terry, you just took a picture of your mother. Yeah. And I want you to take a look at these and see if any of them are the picture you took or not. They may...
Now, Massachusetts General Hospital researcher Dr. Nancy Etkoff shows Terry several Polaroids with only faces showing and asks Terry to pick out her mother.
Okay, if you had to guess, which looks to you the most like your mother? Just looking now, you can't tell which one of these. None of these really look like your mother to you.
No.
Okay.
If you just cover up the face and I just look at the clothes, I can tell you.
Okay, do you want me to uncover them? Okay, why don't I do that? I'll uncover them so you can see what they're wearing and other parts of the picture.
And see, that's her, because the pink and purple shirt.
The shirt. You recognize the shirt.
It's the hardest, I think, with my family, not to be able to personalize them with a face or a sense of timing. You know, it's kind of like I've lost everybody, like everyone's gone, and all that I'm really left with are facts without faces, you know?
When Terry looks at these slides of famous faces, she can't recognize them, although other cues like hairstyle prompt a guess.
Is that Madonna? Because her hair, look at her hair.
It's Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, really? I always feel like I'm struggling and always feel like I'm fumbling through myself to find a connection, to find a bridge that'll just pull everybody right back all of a sudden.
Can you tell who that is?
No.
Okay, if I say Bruce Springsteen.
That's not Bruce Springsteen, is it?
Why do you say that?
This guy's ugly.
Now take a look at that woman right there. Does she look at all familiar to you?
No.
Not at all. What if I say that's you?
I bet not be me.
It is.
Really?
Mm-hmm.